everybody. This is Jennifer, the dad mother. I'm here today with Old School, and I'm getting to do a interview. We're getting to know Old School today instead of him sitting in this seat. So
good morning.
This is going to be interesting.
It'll be fun.
So my first question, of course, I think everybody wants to know is, how did you get the name Old School?
Well, that's one of those deals. It's going to be a story. I was working for 788 back then, pushing, and went to Tulsa, and we had a rally up there. And at this rally, you know, I take a lot of pictures and stuff. And there was a guy sitting up there, and he goes, "Hey, John, can I take a picture with you?" And I go, "Sure, man, no problem." So he's sitting there, and he was drinking a beer. Now, I don't drink anymore. You know, I can, but I don't drink. And he set his beer down, and we stepped back, and we took a big picture. Mm-hmm. Now, the beer was in the picture. And a friend of mine from 45 years ago, he saw the picture, and he goes, "John, I know you're Old School, but a Falstaff beer." And that's where Old School came
that's
from.
Old School stock. that works. I mean, because it fits literally for everything that you do. Now, and also, you are a huge cannabis advocate.
Yes, ma'am.
And obviously, Green Grow Fest. You're also one of the spearhead leaders on 788.
I try, and there's a lot of us spearhead leaders because a lot of people see me, but they don't see a lot of the other people that are pushing just as hard.
Yes, exactly. Now, but one thing we don't know is your patient story. How, when did you turn into cannabis to start to, and when did you notice that it was a healing product and not just something you enjoyed?
Okay. I first turned to cannabis in 1970. And back then, that was just Reggie stuff, you know, and I didn't really appreciate it. But, you know, we used it a lot, you know, back then, just to relax and whatever. Over the years, and I didn't know that I was using it medically because I had a lot of high-pressure jobs or a lot of jobs that, you know, had to do this. But after I got home, I would want to relax and calm down. And I used cannabis then to relax and calm down, and we used it to party too.
Awesome, you know, yes, absolutely.
Now, whenever 788 first came out, I say that I was on drugs back then. I was on hydrocodone, I was on Xanax, on Seroquel, you know, I was on a bunch of drugs. And back then, I just wanted to use cannabis with my hydrocodone and stuff. Okay. And I thought back then it was a me movement. I just wanted cannabis for me. Yeah. Well, when we were doing 788, I was sitting at these specific locations. And people would come by and they would see me, and, you know, they'd sign a petition. And sometimes they'd be coming by after work, and they'd sit down and they'd talk to me. And they'd say, "John, you know, I really appreciate you doing this. I'm a EMT, or I'm a doctor, or I'm a lawyer, you know, it just goes on and on. Right. I can't do this, but I appreciate you and the other people that are doing this."
Yes.
And that's when I realized that it wasn't really just for me. Mm-hmm. It changed from a me movement to a we movement for me.
Yes.
And we need this. And now the amount of patients that I talk to just amaze me, the things they use it for.
Right. And it's to hear other
patients' In my
stories.
opinion, what it does for me, I got off all those drugs. I got off like 5 drugs with cannabis. Because I just got, now back then, I got a large amount of cannabis. And I just sit there, and I got off all those drugs now. And I'm willing to take a drug test at any time. I don't care. But now you won't find hydrocodone, Seroquel, and Neurontin, you know, any of that stuff in my body. I will peg the meter on cannabis THC. Yes. I'll guarantee you that.
I hear you. Did the same exact thing. And pharmaceuticals just, in my opinion, sometimes are not the answer. Sometimes they help, and they can do things to help the body, but sometimes they just don't.
I want them to work in conjunction. I really want our doctors to work in conjunction with this, because if you use cannabis, in my opinion, and hydrocodone are a painkiller, because there are times that you need a painkiller.
Right, exactly.
And the cannabis does amplify the painkiller, in my opinion, and you use less painkillers.
I cannot agree with you more. I absolutely cannot agree with you more. So you said you started using cannabis back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
How
peace, love, up.
I love it. I love it. I'm a 70s baby myself, 77. Yep. But how long would you say you've been using cannabis as a medicine
Oh,
for your body?
well, that goes back to when thought I was using it recreational, and I was using it medically also. It worked in conjunction.
Correct.
Because I would sit there at night, and people would come over and we'd smoke and whatever, and we'd relax, watch TV, and at the end of the evening, I would be nice and relaxed. I never had a problem going to sleep.
Correct.
Now I get night terrors. I hate those.
Yes.
Now, if you don't get them, it's hard to understand. People go, "How do you get night terrors? What are you scared of?" I'm not scared of anything, but that chemical works in your brain, and you get that night terror. So I take RSO. It calms me down, and then I can go to sleep.
Right, absolutely. My daughter gets night terrors, and it's just the most excruciating. You just hate to hear it. It's horrible.
I trust me, I do hate to hear it.
Now,
I know what they're like.
May I ask? I know it's dipping into more personal, but what do you use cannabis for currently?
Well, I'm a pain patient, insomnia, PTSD, several maladies that I use it for. And again, I replaced all those drugs that I was using with cannabis. Now, I use smoke, I use topicals, I use edibles, I use CBD with CBD, CBN, CBG in there, by the way.
Yes.
And first thing in the morning, when I wake up, I do just like you. I have my Barrage coffee.
Absolutely, we gotta shout out to Barrage.
Sure, you
Kyle
bet.
Early.
That's CBD infused coffee.
It's amazing.
And it does, in my opinion, jumpstart my endocannabinoid system.
It does.
Also, I use cannabis with my coffee in the morning too, because I do wake and bake. You can count on it.
Absolutely. Morning, gotta wake and bake. So, well, I am Jennifer Dadmother Taylor, here with Herbage magazine. This is Old School, John Frasure. I want to say thank you so much for letting me come on. And
thank you. I love it when you all come in.
I got to know more about my dear friend, which is amazing. It's just so nice to be able to.
And I've been wanting to do an interview with you for a long time.
Right. So I guess I'll be next.
Oh, cool. Right on. That'll be fun. We plan stuff. Trust us. We're professionals up here.
Absolutely. So, I guess we'll leave it on that note. We'll take a break.
Welcome back to Wake and Bake with OldSchoolAndCo. I hope you're toking up and tuning back in, because we take a good break here. If you want to be in the audience, or if you want to be on the show, I'll tell you, all you got to do is contact us at www.patreon.com/OldSchoolAndCo.
Yes.
Tickets are free for people in the audience, and I always say a half price. Second ticket, half price. Can't beat it. If you want to be a guest on the show, you can contact us.
Yes.
come up here and talk to Dad, Mother, and Dad, Father.
Absolutely.
What are y'all doing this morning?
Hey, we're here. This is
It
so
was
much
great.
fun.
Okay, I just did a little interview with the Dad, Mother.
Yep. We
And
did.
Air Force vet.
Air Force vet.
Hoorah, right on.
Hoorah.
And the Dad,
cheers.
Father over here, recovering from a little surgery, brother.
Yes, sir. I sure am.
Finally out of that nasty
Yeah.
sling.
I know, I saw that. Yeah, in the last segment, we were just talking about, me getting off pain pills and using cannabis. And so now you're off pain pills. Are you still?
No, I do
sorry,
not use,
just threw that
no,
out there.
No, I do not use any more pain pills. At
Right
all.
on, right on.
So after the initial first 3 weeks of, let's call it hell.
Yeah, it's fun. I've been through that surgery.
Honestly, the first 3 weeks really wasn't the worst of it. The 3 weeks after that was the worst, and then physical therapy is.
Once you start doing physical therapy, yeah, that's not much fun.
And
But
he's
now you're doing
really
dabs?
good.
Yes, I do a lot of dabs. My dab intake has increased quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. But the cool thing is my pain level has gone down quite a bit.
Right on, right on.
He's absolutely now he's telling me, ooh, I'm finally feeling, he's feeling the dabs. He's not just smoking and it's only killing the,
Yeah.
what it needs to do. He's actually starting to feel it and feel medicated
Right.
versus just,
And
okay, I'm
that's
smoking.
one of those where I've covered several times is cannabis is really, in my opinion, not a painkiller.
No.
It's a pain distractor.
Yes.
The opiates are the painkillers. That's why
Mhm.
I'd love for them to work in conjunction, but
Well, and there's a difference. So, there's a reason that you can overdose and die from opioids and not from cannabis.
I would love to know.
Okay, we have a little organ in the base of our brain called the Medulla Oblongata. I love that word. It is so much fun and it's funny. but anyways, so there are no CBD receptors in the Medulla Oblongata. That organ controls the breathing and controls your involuntary.
Okay,
So it
yeah.
controls your breathing and your heart. You can't overdose from cannabis.
Right.
No CBD receptors in that brain.
No, that's
So
cool.
it will not suppress the breathing and it will not suppress the heart rate.
Well, that's one thing about the opiates is it has what I call the shotgun effect on your body.
Yes.
Not only does it kill the pain in a certain area,
Mhm.
it also affects the entire body. Now, cannabis does the same thing,
Yes,
but we can regulate a lot
Correct.
easier.
correct, absolutely. So there's different organs and ways that the cannabis works with the body that is safe. Some pharmaceuticals, of course, this is opinion based. This is we'd love to have the research behind
In our
it,
opinion,
and
yes,
that's
this
what
is
we're
just in
working
our
on.
opinion.
But I mean, there's just so much more safe ways to heal your body.
Oh, I agree. And if we get real technical, since cannabis is listed as a class 1,
Yes.
if you take one toke, you've overdosed.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Well, I
Exactly.
don't overdose a lot. all
Yeah.
day long.
Exactly. All day.
Yeah, I think I
long.
overdosed a couple of times in between the breaks.
I dig it. Okay, now you all are spokesmen for Herbage magazine now.
Ambassadors for Herbage, yes.
We
yes.
just did an interview for them.
Yes, we did. I got to interview you. It was
Cool.
wonderful fun.
That was fun.
I love it. We help distribute magazines and get the word out there about the magazine. And also, it's our job to come out and talk to the patients and get to know you. We want your story. We want to hear your story, and we want to put your story out there for others to hear. It's important. It's important to know that 1, you're not alone, and 2, you're not alone. So, I mean, we're all going through something, whether it be mental, whether it be physical. We're all going through something, and we use it for that.
I agree. That's what when I go to these events, I'll sit there and I'll look at houses out there, and I'll wonder how many of our people are sitting in their house alone. They're suffering in
Right.
silence.
Exactly.
That's why when
And-
we have these events, they get out. I love that.
I do too. It's nice to be able to see faces. It's nice for other faces to, it's just everybody to get together, and that's what we want the events to be about. Yeah, they're fun, and it's nice to have the concerts and the party and stuff like that. But what it's really about is just the get together, the camaraderie, the see we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Especially with the stuff moving forward. We have, Jed's coming on later, right?
Yeah.
Because we've got, there's some interesting, fun stuff coming up, and we got a big fight ahead of us. And
we do. Yeah.
we've got to show the community that doesn't smoke that the community that does use cannabis is responsible, and
and that's what I was talking about. When people come out to these events, we all live in our own little world, and we feel like we're suffering this own malady.
Right.
But whenever you come out and you talk to people, you find out you're not the only one, because, again, you suffered in silence. You've been in your house. It's hard to get out sometimes. That's why I love when people come out to these events.
I do too.
Yeah, I understand that. I could relate to that completely. I mean, this is the first surgery that I just recently had ever in my entire life. The first time I've ever had to go to a doctor for anything. Right. Come to find out, I'm thinking this is like the end of the world, right?
Yeah.
No, there's so many people out there that have had some similar surgery or some similar experience, right? And I turn around and start talking to all these people and come to find out that, okay, I'm probably not going to get all my motion back, but there's a good chance I'm not going to live in pain for the rest of my life either.
There you go.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a win. I mean,
those topicals, I use those topicals on my shoulder,
Those
on
are
my
amazing.
foot, on my knees.
the be elevated topical is actually really
The elevated,
good. Like,
yeah, I do
I've
the
been
be
doing
elevated.
a lot of massage because all of this is real tight for him right now still, and especially with therapy. So I've been doing a lot of massage at home, and so not only is it giving him the patient of the massage, but it's getting that.
There you go. Yeah, working it
really
into the
working it into the
joint
skin and working it down as far as I can get it in. So yeah, I'm like, I want him to get nice pain relief.
yeah, sometimes it hurts.
I know. Sometimes you be sitting. Rose used to work my shoulder for me and stuff, and so I'd be sitting there going, yeah.
Yep.
I try not to hurt him too bad. I don't want him to hurt too bad.
Because those knots, you got to walk those knots out sometimes.
Oh man, and they are stubborn.
They don't want to give up. They're
No.
I dig it. Okay, well, on that right there, we're going to take a short break.
Yes.
I'm sitting here talking to the dad mother and the dad mother 710, the dad father right on. I love your logo. You're watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. Old School? Old School and Co.
Old School and Co.
I love it.
Can't compare to my swag. Got finesse and ran up a bag. Trying to check, trying to double it back. I gotta put where I'm from on the map. Learned a whole lot where I came from.
Giving a little update on Castillo Farms 4F contest grow. What I've got right here is I've got some Miko's Pure Microbial Inoculant. We had this already mixed in with our soil, but we're going to add just a little bit more. What this does, this is going to help with herbs and flowers. We got herbs and flowers going right here. It helps with the budding. Now on the back of the package, it's very easy to use. It gives instructions. We've got a 5-gallon container. It says use 4 to 6 tablespoons for a 5 to 7 gallon container. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke my finger down in the soil down here and open up areas for the Micos to get into. Again, we already had it mixed in with our soil, but I'm going to give it a little bit better access, and we're going to mix it in. Now, Micos is very easy to use. You can find it at all your grow supply stores. Just go ask them for some Miko's Pure Microbial Inoculant. It's easy to spread in. Now once I get it, I'm measuring this as I go because I had my fingers on it. Once I get that in there, now I can spread the soil back around. It's mixed in. We already had some Miko's mixed in with our soil. As we water, grows, the mucose is going to go down into our roots. This will enhance our root growth, and it will also help enhance rose as she grows. We want to help enhance the buds and the overall health of the plant. That's it. Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you're having a good time today, because we sure are here at the show.
Absolutely. It's always a good time.
Oh, right on, brother. I'm sitting here talking to Jed Green with ORCA. Cool. We've got a bunch of stuff we're going to cover about. We got some stickers here, brother.
Yeah. You know, kind of, looking at what y'all were talking about in the previous two segments, you know, it's here's something that we're going to do. You know, we've got our petitions. We've come through the phase. You know, those are great. You know, we'll again, we're looking at late February right now is when we'll be able to circulate them. But and that's a bunch of work. But
right,
you know, it's like you said earlier, old school. You know, this is a we movement, not a me movement.
Right on,
and
brother.
So what we're gonna do while we're hanging out waiting on the court to make their decisions and such is we're gonna start having some fun. Because this shouldn't be just a drudgery, you know. This is this is going to be a party. You know, this is a celebration of us as a community getting out and just having a good time.
There you go.
So that's so we're working on kicking that off right now.
Cool.
You want to?
I want to show them these stickers. You bet.
Yep. So we
okay,
so we
started
right doing
here.
some fun stuff.
Got doing some fun stuff. We got that sticker right here. You're going to like that. Ping, 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 ping.
Yeah, don't tread on weed.
Don't tread on weed. And this one, okay, the Care Bear.
Yep.
I really do like this one.
Can Bear in the house.
Can Bear in the house. Now, how are we going to get these stickers out to people?
Well, so what we're going to do is these are kind of function as our little low donor fundraiser,
right?
You know, for the deal. Again, this is a people powered movement and
grassroots movement.
That's right, and we'll have a lot of businesses kind of hopping in and helping. A number of them already are. You know, some of them have helped provide some of the investment dollars to get this stuff going, but. This isn't an effort where we get $1 million check from someone to push their agenda,
that would
right?
Be handy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be handy, but that's not going to happen.
That's not what we're doing.
And our organization isn't going and asking for that. You know, that's so. What we are doing is we're asking people just to have a good time and represent. And so, what we're doing is we're going to start getting these stickers out to dispensaries. And what we're doing now, and this is kind of fun.
Everybody knows I like to have fun.
This is kind of fun, guy. Right? So the way that we're basically going to be doing these is we're going to be selling these by weight, because it's kind of a pain in the rear to sit here and try to count all of these individual stickers, right?
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like cannabis seed. When I'm trying to figure out to scale how much, there's about 25,000 seeds per ounce.
But we know exactly the specific weight of these,
right?
So we can weigh them out in bunches.
That's
like
right.
50s or 100s or whatever.
And it just so happens that about 50 of these, 50, 55, maybe 60 for a fat sack, is about a quarter pound.
Okay. Cool.
And so what we'll do is we're gonna push these out, and we'll hope that dispensary owners and other folks that want to kind of help proliferate these, because that's what we want to do. Is we want to represent, and
we want to help get the word out about cannabis. Cannabis is in Oklahoma. Cannabis is a great industry in Oklahoma, in my opinion, and I think we're going to really dominate some stuff because they're using some good tax dollars.
Absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll start working quarter pounds for 200, half pounds for 400. You know, and,
I love it. I love it.
And then what we'll do then is as we get up and rolling, we're going to make more and more of this stuff available. We've got a bunch of other cool designs that are kind of in line that we'll start rolling out. We're working to get some of this stuff on T-shirts and other, hoodies and stuff like that. And so as we're kind of all starting to communicate, let's just start by having a good time.
There you go.
And so over the next month or so, while we're waiting on the court, then we'll just start letting everyone know how we really feel.
There you go. And a grassroots movement, just getting the stickers out. I'm going to be carrying some of these.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going to some different dispensaries.
Yep.
And whenever I go into the dispensary, I'll also be carrying Broad's coffee too. But whenever I get in the dispensaries, I'll be able to talk to them about them carrying these stickers, and I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be a really good thing, and ahead of legislative session, and those other things. Wouldn't that be cool if all over the state, folks start seeing where our community's at?
There you go.
Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say that's why I always wear something cannabis in public, because everywhere I go, a lot of the places, people will stop me and say, "Hey, man, I love that shirt. I love that hoodie," and then start talking to me about cannabis. And you never know what they're going to look like.
No, you never know. I mean, and cannabis has had such a profound effect, as you noted a moment ago, as a industry here in the state.
Right.
Something I caught this last week, which is really interesting, is, I always complain. I say, if any other industry had popped up like this in Oklahoma, the shears would be dull and we would have run out of ribbons celebrating all these business openings, right?
You bet.
Well, what was kind of cool was this week, first thing that we've really gotten officially out of the state that I've seen, is that the Labor Department, the Commissioner of Labor, popped out and said that in their estimation that cannabis has created about 45,000 jobs. There are currently 45,000 cannabis-related jobs, which is great. I mean, it kind of jives with what we've been talking about, kind of in that 50,000 range. Yep. And those are direct cannabis industry jobs, not to mention what it's done for ancillary businesses.
That's not even mentioning the secondary jobs that support them, like the people that sell them, the soil, or the people selling the food, clothes, boots, everything, their trimmers, everything that they need.
Yeah, and again, that's, part of this effort is all just us kind of, talking to each other. It's an overwhelming positive event. And, for example, like the HVAC folks, the electricians. Matter of fact, we had someone shoot us an email yesterday that provides solvents, provides propane and butane and that type of stuff for the processors that do that, and they hit us up. So this is some of the ancillary businesses are starting to pile in because it's had such a profound effect on what they're doing.
The gas suppliers, nitrogen.
Yes, exactly. And it was great because this group, and I'm looking forward to talking to them here in the next week or two, but we all know that, that we've kind of got these rules, these permanent rules that you hear Alma talking about, and we look at that. Well, Department of Agriculture had some that their public comment period just closed on. And the nice thing is one of the folks over there kind of let me know, hey, there's some stuff y'all might want to take a look at. And so I hopped in and took a look at it, and I'm glad that happened because some of this related to D8 and D10.
Right. And
so we got some comments back to them. That all circles back to this solvent group. Hit me up. They said, hey, stuff's going on over at the light propane board. There's basically a board that regulates them.
Right.
And so as we're really kind of sinking in and everyone paying attention, that's the thing to know, is that there are so many different ancillary things and other aspects of the government that kind of affect. I'm really, really liking that as a part of this effort, folks from these ancillary businesses are starting to reach out and say, hey, we've got this stuff going on over here that affects our ability to service the industry.
Right.
And so I haven't even had a chance to check on what's going on over at, say, Department of Environmental Quality that could have something to do with water usage out on the outdoor grows. I mean, there's, it's not just
learned about the government. It is so huge and so big. It's like a super tanker. It takes forever to change. It takes forever to work. Now, the cannabis industry, we're like a speedboat. We do stuff real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to change the government, and they're entrenched in their ways.
They are. It's an established system that we're inserting ourselves into, and we've again, there's been a lot of success, and I think that's what folks really ought to start talking about more is. Let's look at just the amount of success.
Let's look at the wins. You bet.
It's phenomenal.
You bet.
It gets lost sometimes, but it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Right. Right there on that, we're going to say, you're sitting here watching Wake and Bake with OldSchoolAndCo. I got Jeff Green from ORCA. I hope you toke up and tune back in. I'm tongue-tied.